Hi, everybody. I'm KPRC2 Sports Director Randy McIlvoy. We are inside of NRG Stadium, wrapping up another week of preparations for the Texans. They've done it all year. They've got one more to go before this regular season is in the books. That'll happen on Sunday when the Texans travel to Nashville, rematch with the Tennessee Titans. If you remember back in late November, Tennessee came here and got a 32-27 upset win. Texans looking for some payback coming up this weekend. We'll talk about that matchup with our insider Aaron Wilson and KPRC2 sports reporter Ari Alexander here in just a little bit. But the first part of the show here on Mic'd Up with McIlvoy is a conversation I had this week after practice with a guy who's really stood out on the defensive side for the Texans. It's rookie safety Calen Bullock, third-round pick out of Southern Cal. He has stepped in and certainly fit in well with this Texans defense during what's been a fantastic rookie season. Here's some of that conversation. All right, we are here inside of NRG Stadium getting ready for the Texans as they close out the regular season against the Tennessee Titans, hanging out with safety Calen Bullock. Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir, you too.
Yeah, I know it's you're end of the year. It's been a long season. You're coming off a time in college. First thing I like to ask guys coming out of college, like when do you like hit a wall at a certain point, knowing this NFL season is a little bit longer than what you're used to?
I mean, I wouldn't say I hit a wall because I had great vets around me who just kept me and the other rookies on point, straight just telling us, like, there's no such thing as a wall. There's no such thing as that. And just constantly being on us to take care of our body, because I think that's where a lot of people, they get tired, their bodies be beat up, and I think that's where a rookie wall comes in. And, it's a longer season than college, so that's why they call it a rookie wall. But I don't think it's been a rookie wall for me.
Has this season been everything? And I'll start personally. I know you're a team guy, but you've done very well. You've adapted well to this league. Has this been everything you thought it would be in the transition coming out of college? The success you've had personally?
Me personally, I know what I brought to the table. I know the work I put in, and I knew what I wanted to come in this game and do in this league. And every single day I go out there, I'm playing with the best of the best. There's no better people on this earth that's better than this guy that's out there that I'm competing against, that's on my team. So that just gave me, motivation to go out there and made me feel like I'm supposed to be here. And that's where my success comes in is at.
At this point, you got 5 interceptions.
Yeah, should have a lot more.
Describe that moment when you get an interception, because fans see it. And you're in the right place, right time. You work to get your hands on that football. But what's that feeling like, man? It's like, man, I got a pick here.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing like the first one. The very first one, it's no feeling like that.
And you had it in the first game, right?
My very first game.
In Indianapolis.
So that one it felt special because it was my very first game. And when I got that pick, boy, I couldn't stop smiling. I was just, but I was hyped. I was pumped up the whole time. And then when you get a pick, my other games I got a pick, it's a great feeling. You get to take the ball away and give our offense a chance to go put some points on the board. So that's the best feeling, where you take the ball away and you pumping the crowd up, everybody hyped. Yeah.
How did your time at USC prepare you for what you see every day here in the NFL?
It prepared me a lot, especially just on the field and off the field. It turned me into a young man, and I learned from, great coaching staff there at USC. Coach Riley, when he came in, he set a point where we was going to give our all and, be great young men on the field and off the field, no matter what. So I think it prepared me for this stage, and every single day I got to go in and compete with guys who's going to play at this level, who wants to get to the next level. I think at other programs, you don't really get that. Most big programs, you get that, but other programs, you don't really get that. Guys at USC, I think everybody's trying to play to get to the league. Everybody has a goal, so that makes a difference.
And then putting in the work to get here, and you're on a level now where it's not school, it's ball, man.
Football.
It's ball every day. Yeah. How has that made you a better player, knowing every single day you're in this facility?
It made me a way better player, knowing that this is my job. Every single day I have to wake up and I have to come in here and do my job and worry about what I have to worry about, because I know I have guys in the locker room and they're counting on me and I'm counting on them too. So we're counting on each other to do our jobs, and nobody's gonna force you to do your job here. We're all grown men here, so
it's expected.
Yeah, it's expected.
Yeah. Is it tough to balance? All right, I'm a professional now. I'm paid well. I'm paid to make plays, and it's performance-based, but there's another side to being on a team as well. It's the bond in that locker room.
I wouldn't say there's no balance. It all falls into one. Once everybody's out there, once you're making plays, I think it brings the bond closer in the locker room. Everybody, we're a real close team here in Houston, so everybody's out there. We're all celebrating each other. When we see others make plays, we feed off that. It makes us so happy, and we're happy for each other when we all make a play.
Who have you leaned on that's a veteran from maybe day one that you've really connected with?
There's a couple guys, especially in my room. You got Eric Murray, Jimmy Ward, and MJ Stewart. So them guys in my room, them be guys who been carrying me under their wing and make sure I've been on top of my game and always just giving me key points every single day and making sure that I'm out there and I know what I'm doing. I know what to expect when I'm out there, and I could go out there and play fast. And them guys, they're gonna go out there and compete. And I know that I got them and they got me. And then other guys like in the corner, we got Derek Stingley also, who's a young guy, but he's still he's a vet. Him and Jalen Petrie, those are two guys who very smart dudes. They know ball in and out. That's all they watch is ball. So those been guys also I've been able to lean on.
It seems like when I talk to guys, they say you put so much time, so many hours into this facility. You guys still, it seems like a lot of the team still likes to just hang out with one another. Is that fun? Is that
especially in the back end. I think the back end we all hang out, especially in our DB room. We're really close. So off the field, we stay hanging out with each other.
Y'all anything that's fun to do together?
We really just have we have them team dinners, them DB dinners, and we just sit down, chill, and just get to enjoy each other, like outside of football.
You got to do a little bit of that, don't you?
Yeah, you have to. It brings you closer.
Absolutely. You grew up out in California, right?
Yeah, Pasadena.
First question is, how have you adapted to Texas, man? How do you like it down there in H-Town?
I love it in H-Town. At first, when I first got out here, it was hot. It was real hot. That's the only thing I had to adapt to. I was like, dang, it's
that was like May and June or something.
Yeah,
right?
It was crazy. I'm like, it's real hot. But so far, I love Houston. Houston's a great place, great supporting staff out here, so I love it out here.
Pasadena is where you grew up.
Yep.
Walk me through what it was like growing up there out in California, not far from L.A., obviously.
Yeah.
Walk me through your youth growing up and how that shaped you to the young man you are today.
My youth growing up, I'll say my mom, she tried to keep me out of trouble because the area I grew up in, the King Villages, it was a lot of gang violence and drugs going on in that neighborhood. So my mom, she made sure me and my siblings, we was in sports. We always stayed out of trouble and stayed out the streets. So I would say it was rough, but it shaped me into the young man I am today because I got to see a lot of things at a young age. And I would say it helped. It made me know the path that I wanted to take in life. I knew that I didn't want to go down that road that I seen some friends, people I grew up with take, and I knew I wanted to, be something in life for kids that come up after me and they know that it's possible that we could be something in life. Our environment is not what we stuck in. Like, there's more to life, and that was always my motivation. I just want to motivate other people around me and let them know that, we could do anything we put our mind to, and we're not caged into this environment.
Is it important to you now that you've taken this path to get here and the chance, I don't know how often you get a chance to go home, but when you are home, it's a chance to, when you have the free time to, if you see kids or whatever, that you can impact them?
I think that's the best feeling when I get to go home and I see probably some kids at the park playing, and I just go and play with the kids, and it's be the best feeling because I see myself in them. I see what they want to be, and they know who I am, and it's just a good feeling. Kids coming up to me and they constantly asking questions, and it just gives them hope. And people want to be like me now. When I used to grow up, I wanted to be like other people. So that's the best feeling.
Obviously, family's important.
Yeah.
I don't know, on your necklace there, is that your mom?
That's my grandma.
That's your grandmother. Importance of family. What's it mean to you?
My grandma, she meant everything to me. I moved in with my grandma in the 6th grade. She let me live with her so I could stay and play football with my friends and go to school with my friends. So my grandma, she took care of me, and she was like my second mom. She always was there, and she always made sure I had everything I needed. And So when I lost her, it was a big loss for me in this past, 2 years in college. So that was a big loss for me, but my grandma, she taught me a lot.
Nothing like a relationship with a grandma.
Nah, nothing like it.
Want to wrap it up with back to football. You got the Titans on Sunday.
Yes,
you got
sir.
the playoffs around the corner. It's go time now.
Yeah, it's go time.
You guys are coming off, admittedly, a difficult loss to the Baltimore Ravens. What have y'all learned from that, taken into this finale, that you can perhaps take into the playoffs?
I mean, we know that, January football now, it's go time, like you said. All the marbles are on the floor. It's playoff ball about to come on, after the Titans, but first we got to focus on the Titans because they beat us last time. We can't go in there, and sleep on them because they're still a good team no matter what the record says, no matter what the scoreboard says. That's a great team still. So we still got to go out there and play hard and do our job.
Kind of get the mojo back.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Because like you said, the loss versus Baltimore, it was a tough one. It was a tough one for us on Christmas because we knew that wasn't us out there. We knew what we put on film, that's not what we want to put on film, and we know we're way better than that. So we want to just go out there and dominate.
Very good, man. You've had a great season, and I know more to come, and the fans love watching you play.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Calen Bullock, safety for the Texans, enjoying a rookie season as the playoffs are just around the corner.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for the time, my man.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the
season.
season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Can I get one picture with you?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic conversation there with Calen Bullock, life about football and his life growing up in Pasadena, and what a year he's having. We wish him the best of success in the weeks ahead. All right, time for a quick break here on Mic'd Up with McIlvoy. When we come back, we're going to circle back to what's ahead for the Texans. A date Sunday with the Tennessee Titans. We'll talk about it with Ari Alexander and our insider, Aaron Wilson, when we return. And welcome back, everybody, again here inside of NRG Stadium as we count down to the regular season finale. Texans and the Tennessee Titans coming up Sunday. Texans look for a little revenge after dropping that first game to Tennessee here at NRG back in November. Here alongside Ari Alexander and our insider Aaron Wilson from ClickToHouston.com. Guys, it's coming down to the last week. They want to get a win. A lot of questions on how much should the starters play in this game with the playoff spot wrapped up. You don't want to risk injury with postseason opening next week.
Yeah, and this Titans team, even though they beat the Texans last time out, as I said, that whole week leading up, they stink. They're bad. They don't have anyone at quarterback. They're good in the interior line, and that's sort of it. They are not good. You are supposed to beat this team. If the Texans are who they believe they are, if the Texans are a playoff team, which we know they are, you can beat the Titans. They are bad. Go beat the Titans.
I mean, their strength, if they have a strength, and not very many on that Titans team, it is their defense. At times this season, they've done a pretty good job, especially stopping the run, and they did that when they came here back in November.
Right, it got ugly with those super heavyweight defensive linemen, T'Vondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons, did anything they wanted to do, Randy. And you look at this game, and, it's readiness versus rest. That's the debate. And he's opting for readiness, DeMeco Ryans. It's his choice to play these guys. And you read between the lines, I think there's going to be a quick hook, especially if they get a lead. Then you see Davis Mills, you see some other guys start filtering in.
You look back at that Christmas Day, I think everybody's still shaking their heads like, what the heck went down here on Christmas Day, a 31-2 loss. And I think this team was shell-shocked. I mean, not losing the game, they felt they had a chance going in, but the way they lost, I mean, they've got to tweak things in a hurry. There's going to be an early exit in the postseason.
Yeah, and it was very disappointing, but I don't think it was that surprising. You saw exactly what Baltimore did to them last season at the beginning of the year. Texans then improved throughout the year and played them in the playoffs, and sort of a very similar result. They got the punt return touchdown, but the Baltimore defense was able to shut them down. And then you go into this year, this is a Texans team that's supposed to be better than the one last year, better functioning at least. And they just worked. And it's a Baltimore team that, and I've said this a couple times, everything the Texans want to do well is the stuff that Baltimore does well, and they're just better at all the things the Texans are trying to do than the Texans are. It's a bad matchup for them. I think against other teams is a better matchup for them. Baltimore specifically is a team that you don't want to play if you're the Texans.
I mean, right now Baltimore's looking like a team that very well could take care of business in the AFC. No knock on the Chiefs, some of these other ones, but Baltimore's playing at a very high level on both sides right now.
Right, they are. They're clicking on all cylinders, and guess what? Bailey Zappi is going to be the quarterback. No offense to Bailey, but I don't think that they're going to
Or
lose the
HCU
football
Husky
game.
mode.
I think that it's very likely we see a lot of scenarios most likely for the Steelers to be coming here and seeing Russell Wilson. But I think that's a much better matchup. As Ari said, you look at the way the Texans lose. They don't run the football. They don't stop the run. They don't stop elusive quarterbacks. And they throw interceptions. I mean, they pretty much break down at every level of football, and you can't win any games. You can't beat the Titans. You can't beat anybody if they don't play better football.
I want to talk about offense. We've all seen CJ have his moments this year at a very high level. We've seen him struggle. We didn't see a lot of that last year. The numbers spoke for themselves. 5 interceptions all last year. He's already double digits in the 12 now in the interception category, 19 touchdowns. He's had issues. A lot of that, you look on tape, it's going to be the offensive line, but he's the first to admit, too, he's got to look in the mirror. He knows he can play better. He's been rattled a little bit with all this extra pressure that's come his way all year.
Yeah, and it's changed his footwork a little bit. It's changed the timing. It's changed the big thing with quarterbacks, internal clock. How comfortable can you feel in the pocket or to get out of the pocket for how long?
Right.
And last year, CJ felt very comfortable in and out of the pocket for whatever the certain amount of time in his head was. That time, I think, carried over to this year, and it's different based on the time he's given by the offensive line. He's still got that internal clock. It's like, I'll give you just bear with me here. I'm scared of needles to a certain degree.
Yeah.
If I get a flu shot, it's great. You're in, you have a flu shot, you're done. But if you're drawing blood, I have an internal clock that says this is how long the needle needs to be in, and if it passes that clock, I start to panic.
Yeah.
That's kind of what CJ is going through in the sense of this is the internal clock of how long I have to throw and get ready, and then you suddenly have a pressure in the face from the defense, and you're like, whoa, this is quicker than my internal clock. Something's wrong here. And I think it's something that he's struggled with.
To quote the rapper G-Eazy, it ain't safe in the pocket for C.J. Stroud. You look at what he's done all year. He's under such duress, and any quarterback would get rattled and throw off their back foot. When they know they're going to be hit, you have this expectation of hits. They're lucky he hasn't gotten injured. I mean, this season would be over. They wouldn't be a playoff team without C.J. Stroud. I think, given all that's happened, he's handled himself pretty well. It could be much worse. And most quarterbacks that don't have his mental toughness, his resolve, and his fundamentals, they would play even worse football. He's held his own. He's played solid. This isn't as good as he can play. And I think he eventually, when they get better protection, I don't know if that's going to be this year, at some point you'll see C.J. Stroud playing like he did rookie year.
All right, one addition to this offense over the past week or so is a new receiver, Deontay Johnson. Real quick, we're going to drop in a quick soundbite with Joe Mixon. Here's what he said about Deontay Johnson's arrival.
Deontay Johnson, he going to look real good out there for us. And, I mean, incorporating him into the offense, I think that was major. I'm going to be honest. I think that was major. And, I played against him for years. I obviously respected him as a football player. But, for him to come in since day one, and us be able to uplift him because, he was struggling this year going from place to place and, trying to figure out where he stands in people's team and things like that. But, he came in here since day one ready to grind, ready to work. And, when we got guys like that, we love that, as a Texans organization, or as a teammate, I love that. A guy that's going to come and give his all, put all the hard work in and do everything the right way. And, he's done that. He learned the offense real fast, and the way him and CJ is clicking, that's one thing as a running back that I love to see.
All right, high praise there from Joe Mixon on Deontay Johnson. My question, he's got talent. He wants to fit in. Is there enough time to really get implemented into this offense and be a difference maker?
And that's the hope, and it's just some of the basic things that good wide receivers can do. Get separation, something that Deontay Johnson was good. When Adam Thielen was out for the Panthers, Deontay Johnson was the guy. He's the only guy getting targets on that offense from Bryce Young, from Andy Dalton, because he's able to separate. He's able to get open. He's got a skill that a lot of these Texans receivers don't necessarily have. Nico Collins is excellent at it. Tank Dell is excellent at it. Everyone else on that offense, we're talking Xavier Hutchinson, John Mechie, they don't separate great. There's a stat that these fantasy guys put out called average separation score, and those are the guys that are good at it. Tank is excellent. Nico's excellent. These other guys are not. Deontay Johnson, good separator. He gets open against man. He gets open against zone. That's a guy you want. If he can get open and CJ can find him, I think that's something that the timing doesn't necessarily matter. He knows how to get open. He's going to learn somewhat enough of the route tree to do something.
Get a little bit of chemistry.
Get a little bit of chemistry, and then you have him and Nico, and then you kind of work your way with the rest of these guys.
With that in mind, he's got a game coming up that he has a chance to do a little bit of that. How important is that to have success on any level with CJ in this offense against Tennessee?
Right, this is the test or the audition for Deontay Johnson, and if it goes well, they'll expand his role in the playoffs because they'll know more of the offense. But if he shows them at least he's open to catch a couple passes, the confidence will grow. And I trust players. I trust Joe Mixon. His evaluation, he's not going to get up there and make a fool of himself. He stood at that podium, and that was unprompted for him to really, I would say, go to bat for Deontay Johnson. The emotions have always been the issue. If he doesn't get involved enough, that's been his issue in other cities. This is a fresh start. I think he embraces it. He catches some passes. Maybe they even sign him in the offseason if it goes well.
All right, some other news coming down on Thursday. The Pro Bowlers were announced. The Texans had several make it. In fact, you reported on it as well, 4 total make the team plus some alternates, right?
Yeah, they have 4 guys that are starters. Then Nico Collins, you have Derek Stingley Jr. Those are first-time recipients. Yeah. And then you have a repeat one with Laramie Tunsil, the 5th time he's made it. And then you go over on the other side, you look at, you have a lot of guys, with the alternate status. You have a Jimmy Ward, a C.J. Stroud. You have both kickers, the Tommy Townsend and Kaimi Fairburn. And I thought that it was a good group. I thought the snubs were Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter. Those guys should have made it, but I guess they just canceled each other out because maybe people didn't want to vote for the same guys or vote for different guys on the same team. But I thought they did a good job with it overall. And for the Texans to have this many Pro Bowl selections and not win that many games, that says they got the talent.
Nico Collins spoke Thursday about making the Pro Bowl. Here's what he had to say.
Exciting, and blessed. Yeah, it's hard to explain, man, but I feel like I'm happy and blessed, man, to get the opportunity. Feel like getting a Pro Bowl, everybody wanted that. I feel like that's a personal goal for everybody, and end up getting it, man. It was obstacles, throughout the year I faced, but end up getting a Pro Bowl, man. I feel like that's a personal goal and a goal for myself that I had, and be able to miss 5 games and still make the Pro Bowl. That's a blessing. There's probably some people out there that's probably mad about it. But yeah, what it is. I can't change that. Can't change how you feel, but I'm happy I'm there. I'm happy that's a goal for me that I can say that I did. But I'm glad I got the vote. I'm glad that people, voted for me. It means a lot, man. I feel like for me, I just got to continue to be myself, continue to take one step ahead, man, just be 1% every day.
All right, Nico Collins obviously fired up. It's an honor, and I asked him too about Joe Mixon, said the same thing. Hey, I love it. It's great to be recognized, but we got kind of a mission to accomplish here right now with the postseason and start winning some more football games.
Yeah, it's a cool individual award. It's good for some of these guys, especially the first time, right? Like Nico's super excited, as he should be. He's a 3rd-round pick. He's built himself into being this excellent receiver. He got the huge contract extension. Now he's a Pro Bowler, so he's sort of there. He's set as a very good NFL wide receiver, and I think that sort of validates of what he is, a good NFL wide receiver. But this isn't the team goal. And when you get to the team goal, it's win more than last year. I know these guys are saying Super Bowl. That might not necessarily be realistic when you have the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs in the AFC. But if you can get past the divisional round, which is something the Texans don't exactly do historically, I think that would be huge for them. Even if you get to the AFC Championship, you lose to one of these excellent AFC teams, I think that would be a huge year, and that's sort of reflected. These guys believe they have the talent to compete with Buffalo. They beat them earlier this year. They have the talent to compete with Kansas City. They were in that game for most of the time.
Could have won that game.
Should have the talent to compete with the Ravens, even though there's sort of no evidence that they can compete with the Ravens. Yeah. But you have to believe that. You can't go into that game and go, we're going to get killed. They have to believe that they can win those games.
And they're going to match up, play the Steelers, going to match up well. Mike Tomlin always has his team ready. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk, but they should get a W there and move on. But it is postseason time. It's that time of the year. They're trying to get the mojo back to how they've played most of this season, where they played at a very high level.
Right, and that Cleveland blowout playoff victory seems like a long time ago, but we did see this team once have a good playoff performance with a really impressive victory. You look at where the Texans are now, they got to recapture that kind of confidence, because right now they don't feel like a confident bunch. It's like they're trying to talk themselves up.
All right, so the Texans moving on. They're going to close out the regular season Sunday. It's a 12 noon kickoff there in Nashville, and then they will officially turn the page to postseason play following weekend, home game likely against the Pittsburgh Steelers on a Saturday or Sunday. All that will come out sometime on Sunday as well. We'll find out a date and a time for that kickoff. So we're ready for some playoff football coming up. Texans, though, looking to finish strong with a win Sunday in Nashville. That'll do it for this week. Appreciate you watching. For R. Alexander and Aaron Wilson, thanks for watching. We will talk to you again next week.